Well, for the second year in a row, Nevada is facing cuts to the amount of water that we can draw from the Colorado River. We do thank you for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Those cuts are planned for next year, and more could be potentially on the way. George Knapp has been following this story quite closely. George, live in studio with what he has found out.
Basically, it's a mess. The Colorado River has been considered the most endangered river in the country for 2 decades, but the other states in the River Compact have acted like it's no big deal. Instead of preparing for this day by implementing water conservation, they've acted like a 23-year-long drought doesn't exist. The worst drought in 1,200 years has helped make the point that the Colorado River system is in big trouble. Over-allocated and underappreciated. Department of Interior officials spoke Tuesday about partnerships and cooperation among the River Compact states, but to many that sounded like wishful thinking. The 7 states, tribes, and Mexico were given 2 months to come up with plans to reduce water use, but other than Nevada and Arizona, other partners simply weren't willing to budge.
The circumstances we face will require swift actions and increased water conservation in every state from every sector. We all have a responsibility to ensure that the water we do have available is used with maximum efficiency and that additional conservation will occur expeditiously.
But if it's going to happen, the feds will likely have to force it. Southern Nevada Water Authority General Manager John Ensminger has spent the last few years trying to nudge his contemporaries into taking the kind of conservation action that's left Nevada, which gets the smallest amount of water from the river, in much better shape than larger states, which get humongous allocations. Ensminger issued a scathing letter on Monday about the failure of other states to come to the table in a meaningful way. He singled out what he calls drought profiteers. Example, the Imperial Valley of Southern California. As the I-Team has reported, that district gets millions of acre-feet of water per year and uses much of it to grow alfalfa, a water-intensive crop that is mostly exported to China for animal feed.
Ordinarily, I stay out of my neighbor's business, but when you have a math problem and 80% of the water use is in agriculture and 80% of that 80% is for forage crops, which are largely exported, it's hard not to see how that's not part of the solution.
Water officials outline various scenarios for the river system and for Lakes Mead and Powell, based on a 24-month study, and most scenarios look fairly grim. Climate change makes it unlikely there will be dramatic turnaround in the foreseeable future, if ever. The department says everything's on the table, and when asked twice about whether they would consider draining Lake Powell, they didn't say no.
Wow, well, that's startling. So any idea of how big the next cut will be? Because obviously the other states didn't really propose anything.
No, so now it's going to be imposed on them and us as well. 15 to 30% is what we're hearing. We'd asked John Ensminger what he would predict. He still doesn't know, but 15 to 30%, that will hurt. It will hurt those other big states a lot more than it's going to hurt us.
And we knew today's announcement was coming. So
it's been coming for a long time. Environmental groups, water activists spoke after this event today, and they basically said, "We told you so." And they're calling for really active and progressive kind of measures that go far beyond even what the Department of Interior is talking about.
All right, George, thanks for that.